Greeting, friends and family I already know, and friends I haven't met yet. I'm Allison with Faith Squared Music. This is the first in what I hope will be a long series of videos aimed at helping folks better understand how to use neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change, for healing and happiness. My focus is Christ-centered brain rewiring, but you don't have to be Christian or especially religious to benefit from what I'll be sharing, because the science behind it is real. The faith side of things is central to my message, though, because my faith in God, coupled with my faith in the science of the brain, is at the core of my healing path. And what did you heal from, you may ask? I'll tell you. I have recovered from a long list of about 60 symptoms, including issues related to PTSD, mast cell activation syndrome, or MCAS, chronic fatigue, several different hypersensitivities, etc., etc., etc. Bonus points if you can name the musical I just referenced. When I was going through my most challenging days, in the midst of several challenging years, I always found courage in the recovery stories of others. Now to be able to pass on that courage and hope to you, it's pretty amazing. It's something that I've visualized many times, and now it's happening. If you want to know more, you can dig into my story on our website, faith-squared.com. There you'll find a ton of information about Christ-centered brain rewiring, pages of resources and tools, relevant scriptures, and best of all, our original Faith Squared music. I say our because my husband is the composer, recording studio genius, and webmaster. I did write the lyrics, and I contribute to the whole process, but Faith Squared Music is absolutely a team effort, and I could not do this without him. Anyway, you can find links to our Faith Squared Music on YouTube and Bandcamp, and you can listen to it free in both places. However, if you'd like to pay to download any of the songs, we won't complain. And you can follow us on Facebook, where I will share links to these videos every time I post a new one. By the way, yes, I really am in the woods and the mountains because we are camping right now. The Cascade Mountains are where I have had some of my most remarkable spiritual healing moments. So it's only right I start filming my vlogs here. And no, I don't usually wear makeup camping, but I'm making an exception on this special occasion. Before I get into the heart of my message today, I want to acknowledge that I am standing on the shoulders of giants, experts in the field, and other credible messengers who have been at this for longer than I have. They've laid the groundwork, and I want to mention just a few. Annie Hopper and the Dynamic Neural Retraining System, or DNRS. Ashok Gupta and the Gupta Program. Doctors John Sarno, Howard Schubiner, John Strax, and David Hanscom. Raylan Egel and her YouTube interviews. Joe Dispenza's books and interviews. Jim Prusak, the Pain PT. Dan with Pain Free You, and Bria Katrin, the first person I discovered who is actively out there showing information and help about Christ-centered brain rewiring. All of those people have played a role in my healing, and I want to say thank you. With the exception of the pioneer Dr. John Sarno, who has passed, they are all still at it, doing important work in the trenches that is changing lives for the better. There are links to their sites on my website. I don't want to compete with any of them at all, and even if I was, there's room for all of us, right? Still, I just feel that my voice should be added to the cause because I think I have the potential to make a difference somewhere, somehow, especially because my unique experience, perspective, voice might be just what someone needs. And what I have to offer is actually pretty unique because of the music that we've written. Though there is other brain rewiring music out there, I don't think there is anything else exactly like Faith Squared Music. So I'm going to make an effort to tie in those songs to each of my messages. So yes, I know, I continue to look down, as my husband, the cameraman, just noted. I'm not prepared to do this fully off the cuff yet. I'm sure I'll get there, but I have my laptop with me, and I have a sort of a script outline that I'm going off of. So pardon me for not making complete eye contact all the time. I'll work on it. Anyway, okay. The things I'm going to be talking about today are primarily addressed in the Faith Squared song, easy for me to say, avast their brain. Even if you've listened to it before, when you're done with this video, find a chance to go listen to it again and see if you can find new layers of meaning and understanding after I've shared what I'm about to share. Okay, so before I go on, I just want to say, etc., etc., etc. is from The King and I, and there was also a brief little reference to something from Fiddler on the Roof there. So musicals are kind of my jam. If you haven't picked up on that yet, you will. Okay. The limbic brain, or limbic system, is primarily headquartered in the part of your brain that lies at the base of your skull. It's also referred to as the reptile brain, primitive brain, emotional brain, etc. It's a miraculously complex and efficient network that includes your 5 senses, your pituitary gland, and adrenals, and basically your entire nervous system, especially the vagus nerve, and how it connects to all your organs and all your other systems. It's often compared to an alarm system because it has the job of keeping you safe. If you see, taste, hear, or in any way sense danger, chemicals are released from this part of your brain into your body to help you do whatever is needed to get away from the danger or otherwise protect yourself. It is a great system, but in order for it to do its job right, there needs to be a post-danger period of time when the alarm bells stop ringing. You know I'm outside now because of the bugs, right? When the alarm bells stop ringing, the alarm chemicals dissipate, and you're able to go back to your rest and digest state. But if relentless stress, prolonged illness, trauma, anxiety, exposure to toxins, physical or otherwise, etc., don't allow for you spending the majority of your time in that rest and digest state, you can get stuck in a state of hypervigilance. For years, this has been called limbic system dysfunction or malfunction. But I love the perspective that I get especially from Dan with Pain for You. He reminds us that, even in this state of hypervigilance, your limbic brain is functioning just great. It's doing what it was created to do. It's just overdoing it. Locked in a state of dysregulation, unable to slide easily from the highs and the lows, the ups and the downs, deciding it needs to stay up there and, oh no, we're all going to die, to keep you safe. And once that happens, let's just say that the effects on your life and health are generally not fun. Now, I'm of the belief that if this happens to you and you are a person of faith, and you've applied all you know about faith and prayer, etc., to fix it, and it isn't fixed, there can be an extra layer of stress and feelings of failure added to an already difficult situation. Shedding light on ways to eliminate that self-inflicted stigma and blame is a big part of why I'm doing what I'm doing here. In contemplating how I could give you a unique and relatable perspective, yesterday morning it came to me that I should talk about our dogs. For nearly 30 years, up until about 2 years ago, my husband and I were dog owners. First there was Pele and Abby, then Zeke and Max. Both alpha dogs were barkers and self-appointed alarm systems. I'm not sure Abby or Max would have been so vigilant about letting us know someone was at the door if their alphas hadn't been so dedicated. But once the barking alarm started, they certainly felt obligated to join in. This is actually something our neurons do called mirroring, and I'm sure I'll make a video about that specific issue someday. It's important. Anyway, what I'm leading up to here is that never once did anybody knock at our door or ring the doorbell with nefarious intentions. The dogs never witnessed anyone trying to hurt us. That didn't matter. It was in their DNA, in their brains, to warn and protect us. And once we opened the door and greeted our visitors happily, the dogs usually just were ready to make friends, especially if petting and treats were involved. Danger gone. Boom. Also, it didn't matter if the sound of someone at the door was real or from the television. Doorbell rang on a commercial, boom, it was like the real thing. Their reaction was the same. No amount of explaining helped. I had to open the door so they could see no one was out there before they could really calm down. Of all the dogs, Zeke took his role as protector the most seriously. There was this one day, before Max joined the family, when just Zeke and I were at home, and a UPS delivery guy came to the door. This happened often, of course, right? I happened to be standing in the entryway on the other side of the door when he rang the bell. And the way Zeke flew down the stairs and flew at that door with his teeth bared in that moment was frankly terrifying. For the first time, I had the thought that this dog would kill to protect me. My husband and I often joked about how Zeke must see this whole delivery truck thing in his little faithful doggy brain. These delivery people keep coming to the door, but Daddy and Mama never let them in. They must not like them. They must not trust them. They must be dangerous people. I warn them to stay away because we're onto their dastardly plans, but they keep coming back. I'm going to work even harder to make sure they know that I am fully prepared to go for the jugular if needed. So, this particular day, I needed to take our van in to get serviced, and I also needed to take Zeke for a walk before I got on with my work duties, and I decided to multitask. So I took Zeke along to the auto shop place, dropped off the van, and took off walking with my dog down a very busy street. Lots of businesses, lots of traffic. After a few minutes, I got an important call on my cell phone, so I looked for a place away from the sound of the traffic to sit and have this conversation. I was right in front of a defunct business with an empty parking lot, so I walked over to a brick planter next to the building and sat down, and Zeke settled in at my feet. Several minutes later, Zeke jumped up, positioned himself across the front of my knees, and started in with this deep growl. All of his fur stood up on end. And immediately I think someone's coming at me. I look around and there's no one. I am completely alone and I am completely baffled. But a few moments later, I look up, and about 60 feet away at this intersection, lots of cars at a light. In amongst 20 cars, there's a UPS truck. Zeke recognized the sight and the sound of that truck, and in his mind he's thinking, that guy, he's back, he's stalking my mama, right? It was kind of hilarious in the moment, and pretty sweet actually, that dog loved me so much and was so vigilant, right? So, laying awake in my bed a couple of mornings ago, trying to figure out a new perspective, a new something, a way I could share a story that would be compelling, this came to mind. So that's why the title of this message is my Zeke Piphany. Okay, sure, there was a possibility that Zeke had experienced something like this in his life before he came to us. Maybe there had been somebody that he'd seen threatened by another person. Who knows? I'm sure it wasn't a UPS driver or whatever, right? Or it could be that he carried an unconscious memory of something like that happening to his ancestors. Yes, there is such a thing as inherited memory or generational trauma, and it happens to us humans a lot. And I'm sure that will be the subject of another future video. Regardless, Zeke held a false core belief that I was often in danger, and he had to always be ready to do whatever it took to protect me. This is what your limbic brain can do, and get stuck doing way too vigilantly. Another frequent comparison is likening your limbic system to a toddler having a full-on meltdown. Whether from fear, pain, exhaustion, anger, you can't tell them to just calm down with any expectation of that actually working right away, right? People don't get stuck in limbic system dysregulation overnight, and it generally is an accumulation of many things over a long period of time, years, usually. So addressing it and fixing it usually takes a while, sometimes years. But it is possible to change the programming of your brain from the danger setting to the I really am safe setting, and then to the life is awesome and what adventure are we going to have today setting. I'm proof. And there are thousands and thousands like me. So let's tie this up in a nice ribbon with some reflections on the word fear, especially as it appears in Scripture. Okay, making this video while the sun moves through the trees is proving a little bit challenging, but we're up to it. Okay, this I'm doing off the cuff. Let's see how it goes. So, in the Scriptures, you'll generally see the word fear used two different ways. One of the ways is fear God, or they were a God-fearing people. Another one of the ways is fear not. Those almost seem like two different messages, right? So I'm here to say that I know for a fact many words in the English language have different meanings or different shades of meanings, different interpretations. So I've come to understand that whatever Greek and Hebrew words were originally used to say fear God, the meaning was more a matter of respect, worship, reverence, honor, obey, right? That's a different kind of fear when the Scriptures say fear not. And even though we might understand that intellectually or just casually, or if somebody pinned you down, you'd say, well, it's kind of two different kinds of fear. I still think that it's a little bit confusing. And I do think that sometimes people develop a fear of God that gets in the way of their being able to trust him to keep them safe, or understand or even conceive of the fact that God doesn't want us to be scared, right? That's not his purpose in having us be on planet Earth. It's to be happy, to have joy, to learn and to grow, to serve, and all that stuff. Fear naturally happens as a part of life, but it's not something that he throws down on us like angry darts out of the clouds, right? So the whole fear not thing is generally given in the context of you really don't have reasons to be fearful because I'm here. I've made promises to you. You can trust me. Please rely on me. Bad stuff might happen, but I got you, right? That's a tough thing to communicate to a brain that's locked in limbic system dysregulation. That's the hardest thing to get out of. But that fear and your brain trying to protect you by giving you more reasons to be hypervigilant is extremely, I can't even think of the word right now. It can be tough to navigate, I'll just say, because it's not out and out lying to you, but it can give you stuff like back pain, neck pain, tight breathing, sweating, diarrhea, heart pounding way too fast at weird times, and muscle twitching, and arm going numb, and tingling, and stuff in your feet, and all kinds of weird stuff that doesn't necessarily mean there's something physically wrong, but your brain wants to give you a message that there's danger because it wants to protect you. That is not God's will in your life. That's not something that you have to accept as being your life. And once you understand the brain science and understand that it's not your fault if this is a challenge that you're facing, then you can couple that together with your efforts through tools and making use of principles of this science and heal. You can get back who you were and be even better than you were before you started. And that's what I'm trying to share. That's what I'm trying to preach. That's the path I'm trying to light. And we wrote that music to help people understand that and internalize those messages better so that it can be part of what changes your life for the better. Okay. I feel like I want some brilliant parting words here, but allow me to just say that if there's anything that you got out of what I had to share that meant something to you, made sense, opened up your eyes a little bit, please share this video with someone that you think might benefit from it as well. I wouldn't be doing this because it's extremely uncomfortable and kind of scary to put myself out here like this, to tell my story and to market something that I have created, because I know not everybody's going to like it, and I know not everyone's going to respond well, but I feel like it's something I'm supposed to do. And there's an awful lot of people like me out there who went through hell, came out of it better the other side, got all excited about the power of neuroplasticity, and have created programs or books or whatever to help other people. And I get it, because boy, that happened to me, right? I was in a really, really bad place. I turned into somebody I didn't recognize and nobody else recognized, and I wondered if this was going to be forever. I didn't know what was wrong with me. And the fact that I have come back so beautifully is something I just can't be quiet about, right? So, listen to our songs and share the website, share my videos. I just want to give people hope. I just want to give people hope. So, it's my prayer that that's something I have accomplished today, and I hope you were entertained while I was at it. Thank you.